Today we'll complete this ST service. There are some more options which we need to discuss in practical. So let's see which were remaining. Let me log into the console and let's check what are the remaining options we need to do practical. Fine. So let's log into this ST console. So let's create photo. I think we need to discuss. So what is the concept of transfer isolation? Remember or forgot?
Which ones?
Yeah. So as per what we have discussed across each region, on average, how many we are having? On average, around each region there are 5 locations. So what is the use of this location? So let's say my bucket is somewhere in Canada, okay, and my laptop, your EC2 instance or your laptop, whatever it is in India. Now you want to upload some object from your local machine. So maybe you're in Hyderabad, maybe you're in Mumbai, so you're in India. From India to Canada, you have to upload an object or video or a file, whatever it is. So definitely there will be latency, considering the geographical distance, India to Canada. In order to avoid this latency, what we have to do, we have to enable transfer acceleration on this bucket. So what happens now the moment you enable transfer acceleration on this bucket in Canada region? Now also object will be uploaded to Canada location, but how? The path will be different a bit. First, it gets uploaded from your laptop to nearest edge location. And whose internet speed is this? This is your local internet service provider. But from edge location, it will use the speed of
Less.
AWS, high bandwidth. So this is the part. And so when this is a concept, actually this is a concept with the help of edge location. So if anyone asks you what is the concept of transfer acceleration, whatever we have discussed till now, this is the concept. Second one, how to know, I mean when or how to know when you need to enable transfer acceleration. So here there is no doubt, definitely distance between India and Canada is far, so without any doubt you can blindly go with transfer acceleration. But let's say something between Singapore, okay, Singapore, yeah. So both are almost Asia Pacific, Australia, Singapore, India, what are there in Asia Pacific? Hong Kong, Mumbai, Seoul, Sydney, Canada, Tokyo. Yeah. So you see, if something you are in India and your escape bucket is in Singapore. So these are almost nearest regions in the same region data centers, the regional data centers. So in these scenarios, you might be getting out whether you need to enable or not. Because sometimes without transfer acceleration, if you upload directly, that is quicker than enabling transfer acceleration because you see India and Singapore here. If you enable directly like this, it will take maybe less time without any transfer acceleration. But maybe if you enable transfer acceleration first, it will go somewhere here and then again here. Instead of this is the shortest path with normal internet speed is enough maybe. So in these scenarios, in second type of scenarios, Before taking the decision whether you need to enable transfer acceleration or not, you have to calculate the speed. So if you are using transfer acceleration with how much speed it is going, if you are not using transfer acceleration with how much speed it is going. For that, I have already said there is a calculator, speed calculator given by AWS. We will see that also. So now I will create a bucket. Wantedly I am creating in Canada region so that the distance will be far. Okay, so I am creating Canada. So if you want, you can make it or you don't make it. Let's make it proper. That's it. Create bucket. So now, first let's see what are the options we have covered. Maybe anything is missing in one by one. Let's go. Version discussed, tags discussed, encryption discussed. Tiering we already discussed in that lifecycle management. How to change from one type of storage to another. After how many days you want to storage, that we have discussed. Similarly, this is also similarly. The only difference is in lifecycle management you have all the 6 types of storage, but here you have only archive. How many types of archive storages are there? Last two. Archive and deep archive. Only if you want to deal only with the last 2 types of storages, right away you can create a life cycle load here. But if you want to have a life cycle load between all the, like in first 30 days in a standard, after 30 days standard IA, next one zone IA, like that, then you have to go for last one. Life cycle. But other than that, straight away if you want to start with archive and deep archive, that's it. Then you can go with this one. You know how to configure. We have already discussed practical in our previous class. How to change storage classes automatically by enabling lifecycle management only. And then server access logging. What did I say? Moving further, we will be seeing VPC flow logs. That means whatever the traffic is coming inside your network, whatever traffic is going outside your network, how much traffic is coming, how much traffic is going, everything will be noted down in the form of logs. Then you will understand it. Same. AWS Cloud Trail is it. AWS Cloud Trail is nothing but it's one of the service part of our course. We call it as auditing service. What you are doing in the account. Okay? Being an AWS user, what you are doing. Cloud Trail means what time you have logged in today, what you have created today, what you have deleted, what time you have logged out. Everything it will be logged here. Something like CC camera you can say. Whatever you do. So this also we'll discuss when we discuss this service. And then notifications. This deals with which service? Notification service. Which one? SMS. Moving further, we are going to discuss simple notification service. There we will discuss how to create this notification. So if you observe carefully, these are all not that much important, optional, but still we cannot discuss now because these are some options which are related, which are dependent on another services. Until unless I explain you that service, you can't understand this service. I can explain because I know, but if I explain you, you don't understand because you don't know the prerequisite which is other services. Yeah. So once I explain those services, it's not a big one. Even these services also it's just one class, but much small services. Then automatically you'll understand these things. And object lock we have discussed. So what is object lock? Something like in EC2 what is option? Something like object lock here. Protect from
Delete on termination.
yes, protect from accidental termination. Not delete on termination. Delete on termination is something different. Delete on termination belongs to which one? EC2 or EBS?
EBS.
EBS. Yeah. Object lock means even though by mistake if you're deleting object, it should not get deleted. So similar option in EC2 is delete on accidental, accidental termination protection. And request and paste, nothing we have discussed. There is simply you will edit it and you give the enable it and you will give the account ID of the other person. These things. So requester will pay for request and data transfer. While recursion pace is enabled, anonymous access to this bucket is used. So whoever is requesting, automatically the bill will be added to the other person when you enable this option. That's it. You see, some of the options I am not saying it practical. Why? Because there is nothing to say practical. Simply enabling it. So why such type of options? I no need to explain. You yourself can enable. But wherever there are options, which is something more than simply enabling, where you need to work out some 3-4 steps, those type of options I am explaining. Okay. Yes, static website hosting we have discussed. So what is the only thing remaining in the properties? The first one, transfer efficient. So let's start this. Edit. You see, you know already. By default, all the options will be in a disabled state whenever you create a bucket or any object. So let's enable this. You see, accelerated endpoint. This is the thing you have to give. It will create automatically on its own. You don't need to create anything. So save changes. So what will do? Let's upload any book. So what I'm uploading now? So I am uploading from India to Canada bucket now, something. So let's say I'm uploading any image or file, whatever it is. If you want, you can make it public or leave it. Somehow we are not interested in public or private. We're just interested in checking the speed. See how much time it is taking? It's, of course, here you can't see that much thing. Why? Because it's a matter of kilobytes. But let's assume the same file is something in GBs or TBs. In that scenario, definitely you will feel the lag. Oh, it's okay. Now you got doubt. Once after you upload, you got just for uploading KV file, it has stuck in between. It's not immediately fraction of second, 100%. Maybe it took some 3-4 steps and then it became 100% while uploading. So how can you calculate the speed first of all? So whether you need to enable transfer acceleration, you have enabled actual already. So that means it has now this object, whatever you have uploaded this object, did it gone directly from your laptop to Canada bucket or did it went through edge location? This object just now which we have uploaded. Whether it went in the number one way or in the second way.
Number one.
Others? When it will go in one, when it will go in two.
It should be two because of the enable transfer explanation.
So the answer is two. When it will be one? If you create a bucket, straight away upload it, then it will be one. Why? Because there is a no point of edge locations or transfer identity because we did not enable it. But now just now I have enabled, right? I have went into properties. I mean not, yeah, these properties, and I have enabled static website hosting. The moment you enable static website on where you have enabled static website hosting on this bucket in Canada. So whatever is coming into this bucket, how it will come first? It will go through the from source. This is the source. From source it will go to the nearest edge location. From edge location it will come to the Canada. So this object just now which you have uploaded went through second part. Now you got doubt. Now you got doubt. Maybe you felt this is also still maybe slow. Maybe you should have enabled directly. I mean you should have sent directly without any edge location. You got that down. So how can you check the speed? So go to properties, the same one. There you will have that link will be provided. So where it will redirect you to that calculator, speed calculator. Let's go and see. Yeah, transfer acceleration. So use an accelerator to learn more. Click on this learn more. It will open the official documentation of AWS. Let it open. And there in this document, one place you will see this calculator. You see here why you use transfer acceleration. If you want to transfer GBs. terabytes, gigabytes on a regular basis across continents. That means the geographical distance is more. And what you can't use all your available bandwidth over the internet when uploading the series because you have a limited bandwidth and you can't use them completely because it creates a lag. So did you see anywhere too? Speed comparison. So okay, this is the link. So click on this. Again, we click on this, the first one. This is a common thing as even for you also it will show the same thing because you are also all in India. If you also are, it will show the same because it is calculating from India to other continents, other regions, the speed now. So accordingly you can take your decision. If you want, I have sent you that link, you can save it. Maybe if you find it difficult to check yourself while practicing. So you see now it is calculating what first of all you see here option okay to North Virginia. Upload speed comparison in the selected region. So from where it is calculating? In which region we are in now? Mumbai. So what it is saying, Raven? Okay, we are considering now AWS is considering your source. Your source region is Mumbai and your destination is. That means it's assuming your S3 bucket is in North Virginia. So if your bucket is in North Virginia and your source, I mean your laptop or EC2 instance is in Mumbai data center, Mumbai region, India, if you enable, if you go with direct upload speed, whether it is faster or slower compared to transfer, here is the answer. So now with this solution, what is the answer? Whether you need to enable transfer acceleration or not. If your S3 bucket is in US,
No.
Okay.
we don't need to enable. Why? What is the reason? Direct upload speed is
It's faster. Yeah.
faster. So no, don't expect always it will be faster. Maybe US it is faster. Maybe let's go. If I'll scroll down the page, below it will be there for all. Sometimes here it will slow. It will show 90% slower also. Don't expect every time faster. Sometimes if there is any data center issue in US region, maybe this can be slower and transfer acceleration speed can give you more. Like that. Actually, when you will find here slower means if the geographical distance is far, sometimes transfer acceleration will be faster. When I mean because it is using edge location concepts. So let's see whether the values is same for all or not. We come now. This one. So for almost directly is the first. Why? Because if you observe carefully, these are all US. Actually, it looks like India and US are uh, far, but I mean, don't consider the world map as horizontal like this. Okay, it's a globe actually. So this actually this is attached to this like this in the globe way. Okay. So maybe sometimes it will be having shown sometimes. So don't expect I'm saying it will be always faster. Sometimes you can see here slower, here faster, again here slower. It depends upon time to time. So when the moment you are using it, the moment you are selecting for copying all these things, then you take the decision. In case if you have got any doubt, simply come here, select the I mean speed comparison tool. Amazon S3 transfer acceleration. So this is how you enable the transfer acceleration.
So it is not depend on data, how much data we are transferring.
No,
Mhm.
data is irrelevant
Okay.
because even how much data it is ultimately depends upon the speed. Because your data is
Right.
constant, whether you want to upload it directly or transfer acceleration, the 1 GB will be 1 GB only. But
Right.
here you are interested in the speed.
Mhm.
So here So here there is no issue with like only after creating you need to enable transfer acceleration. While creating only you need to transfer acceleration, the moment you enable, from that point time onwards it will be in effect. So this is how we deal with transfer acceleration, and the concepts we have already discussed. So the keyword you should be 100% using if someone asks you about transferring edge location. Edge location you have to definitely use it. And that AWS optimized network path, that means it uses AWS internet speed, high bandwidth from edge location to the destination S3 bucket. Okay, fine. And what are different options still we need to discuss? Let's go to permission. Yes, this also will discuss. Which one? Bucket policy. Yeah, you see this bucket policy and object ACL. So what did I say for this? You need to have a scripting language knowledge. Since we don't know this JSON, what I said, so ultimate, what is the ultimate use of this bucket policy? Policy means nothing but permission. So you are writing some script in JSON language and you are defining the permission of this bucket. And since we don't know the scripting languages on YAML, you see what are the scripting languages? YAML, JSON. There are some scripting languages. It's okay. Being a cloud engineer, you don't need to learn it because we don't deal with the scripting languages. But how can you overcome this issue? Now you have to give permission for a bucket and you don't know the scripting language, but still how can you give it? So after this S3, from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start a new service called IAM, Identity Access Manager. So what is this IAM service? This is exclusively for permissions related. Permissions means not only services, users, groups, services. So which user should have which permission, which group should have which permission, an user should have which permissions to which service, an S3 bucket should have which type of permission. Everything you can define in this IAM. Okay. So in this IAM also you can generate permissions by GUI. Directly you have graphical user options. You don't need to write any scripting language like you need to here. So automatically you will write here, and the same thing if you want you can apply it here. Okay. This is one way. This is one way of applying bucket policy. If you don't know scripting languages here, with the help of IAM service you can do. Second thing, straight away go to Google, search AWS S3 sample bucket policy. If you go to AWS, there are n number of different bucket policies depending upon your requirement. There is official documentation. No need to search anywhere. You see, bucket policy example. So if you don't know anything, no need to worry. Straight away go here. You copy whatever you require. See. So what is this bucket? See guys, bucket policy is something like this. What is this format? In which format it is now? This is called
Yes.
JSON format. This is JavaScript object notation. JSON means JavaScript object notation. So here, if you observe carefully, guys, this is nothing difficult. Actually, you are seeing for the first time. The only thing you are getting scared about here is by seeing these things, these indentations, these commas, brackets, semicolons. By seeing this, you are getting scared. But other than that, if you study carefully, everything is plain English. You see, if you study this, even you can only say that what is this bucket policy. Just study and say me what you understand by this studying this policy. Of course, you can leave this. Some which you don't understand. This you can leave. Yeah. Other than that, everything you can understand. So by applying this bucket policy, I mean, what is the permission you are giving at bucket level? Just by studying this.
So here we have a condition, right? So string equals of x. So whichever is matches to the string, then we are giving public key access.
Right. So and this applies to which bucket? A bucket name with document example bucket. Not only the bucket. What is the after bucket slash star means?
Everything.
Everything inside the bucket. So moving further, guys, whenever you see star in IT, star means everything. Okay? Whether in which location you are, if you're saying star, star means everything in that location. So that means everything inside this bucket should be having a public read access when it something matches with this string.
So for the object, we are checking that string equals function. Right?
Right, right. So action means what is action? So in S3 you're giving the on this particular document example bucket, you're giving the permission to put object and change the permissions of the object also. And for this which account? This is your account ID. And for which user you are giving? Root user you are giving the permission. Like that if you want to give to any other user, IAM user, similarly you can give here. You see, for another account ID, you want if you want you can share the permission with another account also. This is another account ID for the root user. Where can you see your account ID number? Anyone? Have you explored the options?
Right.
Right. Under Revant you see. So this is my account ID. So if I want for Revant to for let's say you want to give in your when you're practicing in your S3, I ask you to give permission for that particular bucket and object in your account. So what you will do simply you will copy this bucket policy, go here, edit it, paste it. Some options you need to just change. Instead of document object bucket, you just have to give your bucket name. What is your bucket name? Just copy this and paste it here. And then instead of giving, I want to give another person. Just leave it as is. You want to give permission to only one account for one person, so you can remove this one. And you will ask Raven to give his account number. So I will provide you my account ID. Simply copy this and replace this example ID with your required one. And that's it. Nothing more than that. You simply save changes. That's it. You see, this is a bucket policy, nothing but. So like that, there are so many bucket policies. You see, here you can see what this will do. Granting permission to multiple accounts with the added condition. So what this will do? This bucket policy, this one. This is the answer. It will grant permissions to multiple accounts. So who are the multiple accounts here? Someone I have given two people like this. Multiple accounts with added conditions. What is my condition again? These are the accounts related detail, and the condition is only if it matches the object matches this thing. Amazon ACL. ACL means we already discussed. ACL comes at bucket level as well as object level. So after this we are going to discuss ACL only. So like that, even though you don't know bucket process, you don't need to get fear. There are two
So
solutions.
what is the action in this case?
Which one?
Action.
Action means what the permission you are giving. So for uploading object into that bucket, you are giving permission. Get object means download. Put object means upload. You see here, put object means you are giving
So
permission to Revant user for uploading object to this particular bucket in your account.
okay, so it is already there, or do we need to create like we have this resource S3 or bucket, right? So action also we need to create, or it is already there. So we only need to know that what action belongs to what, and we have to use which one.
Already bucket is there. Inside on top of that bucket, what is the permission you are giving to another user from another account that you are defining here. So already you have created bucket here, right? Inside this bucket only you are giving this bucket policy. So
Yeah,
in
yeah, that I understood, but where I can found this action. So if I wanted to know what means put object, what means put object ACN, what means get object, so where I can found
yes,
those things.
that this you have to go in official documentation of AWS. So you have to check what are the different conditions of bucket policies. They will be starting with basics. Here, this is the left side. Access policy guidelines. This is bucket policies. So how can you start with let's say policies and permissions. You see here they clearly give you what is resource, what is action, what is effect, what is principle, all these things. So here they will explain it clear, each one by one. Action, example, like this. So let's say we want to know about action. So click on this action. It will redirect you to this example. Everything. So that's why you see here for this you need to understand the scripting language and what the option will do. So what I said, this is a bit a complex thing because we don't know and we are seeing for the first time. So to avoid this, I will show in the coming class. From next class we will discuss again. There you no need to select like this. Everything options will be given you manually. You see these options, create bucket, list bucket. You don't need to remember. Straight away there will be drop down menu. In that everything all the options will be there. So simply you select it from there. So you don't need to buy hard these things actually here in fact. What you will do in IAM also, it will generate for you only. You just select the options, it will only generate for you this JSON script. So what you can do, simply you can copy there and come and paste it in the bucket policy. That is second way. So either you can go to the official documentation, copy some existing one, paste it here and you edit the values as per your requirement. That is one thing. Second solution is using with the help of IAM service also you can generate the policies. Why? Because in IAM also we are going to deal with permissions only. Not only S3, complete account level, different services, user level, group level, all types of permissions. But ultimately there also we are using JSON.
Raymond, how to know like we have given the correct? I mean, whatever we wrote is the correct one. It's like
Yeah,
there's some
they're simply
indentations.
right then for so you're saying about indentations, whether this is
Yeah,
correct
if
or not.
something I miss right, then it will not be a valid one. Right?
So copy like this, go to Google, search online free JSON validator. Actually, moving further also we are going to discuss about this. I thought of showing you this tool then, but since you have asked now only, I'm saying it now only. So simply you will paste it here. Whatever the JSON you want to simply paste it and click this validate JSON. So it is saying something there is error. Actually, while copying and pasting, it will some brackets errors will be there. So where it is saying error on line 19. I don't see any error here. Maybe because of the bracket or something. Maybe we missed some bracket here. What we will do, directly will copy from here and we'll check what it will have. Okay. You see, it's a that is also it's a valid JSON. So this way, whenever you copy and edit anything, and if you're sure, if you're not sure that it is correct or not, simply you can come and validate in the Google like this, online JSON validator. This is one way. Second thing is if there is any issue, actually here only it will say there is some error. It will when you click that save option button, it won't save. If you want, I'll show it. Wantedly, I will delete these two brackets. Edit it first. See, I'm deleting these two brackets and we'll see, and I will try to save it. See, it will throw error. See, none error occur. Since it is correct only, it has saved your changes. If it is not correct, it will throw error like this. So now let's come back. And now try to save it. Yes. Okay. So this is bucket false. Right. If you don't want, you can simply delete it. And ACL, you see this ACL at which level? So ACL you have at both object level as well as bucket level. So whether to whom, ultimately bucket owner means nothing but AWS account owner. So the owner is having complete read write options at object level as well as bucket level. If you want the bucket to be public, everyone, so you have to keep it public like that, only for particular persons of users. Anyone with AWS account, you need to give that particular people like that. And again, cross-origin resource sharing, we have discussed the theory. Here also, if you want to define permission, you need to use the type of scripting language. But we have already discussed, we never use this type of option in the companies. Why? Because we don't work on such type of projects, first of all. where the sensitive data should not be shared between countries. We don't work on such type of projects. So this is all at which level? At permissions. And then metrics is nothing but just how many objects are there in your bucket, what is the bucket size, all these things it will show automatically. Storage class analysis is nothing but how many objects are there, which are in standard, which are in standard only, it will simply list out so that you can understand. Replication metrics, yeah, replication we are about to discuss in the next option, then you will go to management. Lifecycle rules we have discussed. Have we discussed replication rules?
No.
No.
But we know what replication does, okay? So let's discuss first. Oh. What does replication do, guys? Remember, we discussed theory. What is the advantage of replication?
Replicating all the objects.
From where?
One bucket to another.
From one location to other.
Okay. So let me list out here. So whenever any user, so let's say this is your source bucket, okay? Actually, you have to define what is your source bucket. You have to define what is your destination bucket. So the first rule of replication is whenever you are enabling the replication, the first rule of replication is you have to manually define. I mean, manual means you are setting up a configuration. Manually define the source and the destination. First thing. So what happens whenever any person upload any object into the source bucket? So what happens automatically? This object will get copied to the destination bucket within seconds, fraction of seconds. And is this automatic or manual? This is an automatic process. So first of all, replication means getting copied, guys. You see, if you want to copy something automatically, so that means you have a project requirement such a way, whatever the objects you're uploading, whatever the objects people are uploading or your colleagues are uploading in one bucket, automatically those objects should be copied to another bucket also without manual intervention. In such scenarios, you will enable replication between the two buckets. So what is the rules? So I am listing out the rules here. What are the rules of configuring, establishing the replication means? The first rule is you need to define what is your source bucket. You need to define your what is your destination bucket. Then only the flow of traffic will go like this. The copying takes place. This is the first rule. Second rule is vice versa applicable for a replication. That means you have defined your source and your destination. So traffic will flow from where? Like this. Now my question is, will it go like this also? Will it works like this? That means if anyone upload to Singapore bucket, will it go to Mumbai bucket also? Is my question.
Yeah, because we have selected replication, so both needs to be same.
Actually, vice versa won't be applicable. Okay. So you only said this is the source and this is the destination. So always the flow of traffic is from source to destination, not from destination to source. When this will work, again you have to define one more replication rule such a way this is the source and this is the destination. Then only the traffic flow of like this works that way. But if you select source and destination, the traffic will be always one way. Only always the blind only source to destination. Vice versa is not applicable. Maybe not from destination to source. That is second rule. And what is the third rule? Replication means replication that concept is applicable only for copying, not for deleting. What do I mean by this? What do I mean by third point?
So if I delete any data from source, it will not delete from destination where I copied.
Right. Right. Correct. Correct. So what did we discuss? Replication means whenever anyone upload any object to Mumbai bucket, automatically it will get copied to Singapore bucket. Okay, fine. And what is the second point we have discussed? If anyone upload any object to Singapore bucket, it won't replicate in Mumbai. Why? Because that we did not enable the flow from between this to this. We have enabled only from source to destination. This is the second point. Now what is the third point? If you delete anything, whatever you have uploaded in this Mumbai bucket, which already got copied, after getting copied to the Singapore region bucket, if you delete that object in the Mumbai bucket, will the same object which got copied into Singapore bucket, will it get deleted? Here I said right answer already. It won't get deleted. Why? Because replication is applicable only for copying, not for deleting. That means if you want to delete that particular object in Singapore region, you have to go and manually delete it. If you delete in the source bucket, automatically it won't delete in the replicated destination region. Destination, if you have to go and manually delete it. That is for deleting. So these are the concepts which you need to keep in mind, and most importantly, the last one, if you have to enable replication between two buckets, on both of the buckets you need to enable versioning. Okay, you see these options actually you need to remember. I mean, no one will ask you, but if you remember, it will it will be impressive actually. You see, because we are discussing something in depth course, right? Not just like a beginner or fresher level. The options, the real scenarios, the use case scenarios, whatever I am explaining and whatever we are practicing every day, this is something done by people who are experienced like 2 to 3 years. So when a person of 2 to 3 years is something is expected out of them, so without asking them, so you need to be able to say the characteristics of an option. So let's say someone asks you about replication. Maybe you say only replication means copying. This can be said even by any fresher also. Even fresher also knows replication means getting copied. But what is the difference between a fresher and a guy who is having 2 to 3 years experience? You see the other points. So that's why whenever we are discussing anything, we will be going something in depth, which is equal to an experienced candidate, right? So here, these are the 4 points which you need to keep in mind. Of course, while practicing, even though if you don't keep this in mind, it doesn't matter. Why? Because automatically AWS will only show you error. I will show you. Now we are going to do practice, then you'll understand. Here I said, you see, versioning you need to enable, I said. This is for a theoretical way. That means if someone asking you, if you have to say them answer, you have to definitely say this. Why? Because no one is there to remind you. You forgot to enable versioning. But whenever you are doing practice, if you forget, AWS will remind you. That is one thing. But whenever the discussion comes to show your ability, to show how much knowledge you have on this particular option or particular these services, in that scenario you have to keep in your mind. Okay, that comes with the experience. So whatever we have discussed and whatever the options, I have drawn on this screen. Now let's do the same thing practical. So what I will do, let me create maybe another new bucket and we'll test on it. So here, how many buckets I need to create for testing this, for practicing?
Two.
Let's create 2 buckets in different. Actually here, for your understanding, I said another region, guys. Don't think replication means only your different regions. The buckets can be in same region also. The concept is not about region here. The concept is about these 4 points. The buckets can be in same region. The buckets can be in different region. That doesn't matter. We are interested in this concept, the characteristics of replication. Okay. Fine. So what will do? Let's create 2 buckets. Source test replication. Okay, let's keep it in that. If you want, you can make it public or leave it private, your wish. Create bucket. Next, create one more bucket. Okay, one create. It's no source. No, it is second bucket is destination. Okay. So let's make it Singapore maybe. The community is also perfect. Then create. Fine. So I have just created bucket. Still, we did not start with replication configuration. So where you need to enable, next comes the question. Is it now once the practical starts, some more questions are raised. So where you need to enable replication now, whether on a source bucket or on the destination
Source.
bucket. Yes. So obviously,
Source bucket.
yeah, it's a general sense, right? So where something is starting, you have to start from there. Right? So the journey is starting here from the source bucket. So definitely you need to enable on the source bucket this replication configuration. So click on this bucket. Where is the replication in which option?
Matrix.
And
Manage. Metrics is someone said metrics. You see, metrics is a very common terminology. You don't need to get confused about metrics. What is metrics? Metrics is just an information. Metrics will be there everywhere. Moving further, we are going to discuss so many metrics. Metrics is nothing but you see what are the metrics at EC2 level. If someone asks you what are the different metrics at EC2 level, what is the information about EC2? CPU is a metric, hard disk is a metric, RAM is a metric, network coming, network input coming, network bytes output is a metric. Metric is nothing but an information. Okay, so in management we are having replication rule. Fine. So currently we don't have any replication rule. Let's create a replication rule. Create replication rule. What did I say? Of course, I have said there is a fourth option there. What is the first? You see red mark here. What did I say? Enable version. And what did we discuss? Versioning should be enabled only on source bucket or destination. Both the buckets. Both the fine. So here, what AWS is saying, is it both bucket or only source bucket? The first option, enable bucket version.
only first
It's
version.
only see here. If you study here, everything will be here only. Here it is starting about okay. You need enable source bucket. What did I say? Even though let's say you don't know this concept that you need to enable versioning. Is it any problem for you here while doing practicals? Do you need to remember that even though you don't know concept? What did I say? AWS will automatically remind you. You don't need to worry about this. But when is this useful? Let's say an interview point of view. Okay, if someone asks what is the characteristics of a replication load, so will anyone remind you that here because they don't be any console there. Simply whatever is reminded, whatever you have remember in mind, that only you can say the answer. That's what I'm trying to say before. Fine. So what will you enable bucket version? While practicing, if you want, you can check this. If you did not enable that, you can't create replication. It will throw error.
So why it's mandatory? That's a use internally.
They have made it maybe for some reason. Let's say even though by mistake you have deleted something in the source bucket, you know how to retrieve it back. Why? Because versioning characteristic is even if you delete something by mistake, you can retrieve it back. So you can give any name, my test or no, something. You can give any name. Next, choose whether the rule will be enabled or disabled. Okay, now you are creating a rule. After creating the rule, you want to, you are creating a rule, whether you want to keep it in active state or deactivate state after immediately after the rule has been created. If you click this disable, what will happen?
Inactive state.
Right, the rule will be created, but it will be in inactive state. If you create enable, then also the rule will be created, but the rule will be in active state immediately the moment you create it. That's the only thing. Fine. And then source bucket. So it is asking, okay, it already know that is this is your source bucket. So your source bucket name is Raven source test replication. And what is the region of your source bucket? Mumbai region. Fine. Now it is asking choose the scope of the rule. Scope means what is the meaning of scope? I mean in English, nothing technical. Another meaning of scope is nothing but its ability or capability. So what this rule can do? So what this rule is capable to do is the meaning. Okay. So what are the different options? What this rule can do? Limit the scope of this rule using one or more filters. Okay, something they are talking about filters. So did you find anywhere filter then? So that means this option is dependent upon this option. Fine. So next comes the question, what is the filter type means? So you can filter objects by prefix or object tags or a combination of both. So what is prefix?
We use that while creating the
Starts
object.
with.
Start.
Prefix means just starting. The meaning of prefix means starting. So let's say I have two objects. Okay, I have two objects called uh, sai.txt, revenge.txt, xyz.txt. Right. Now these all three objects are in my bucket. Okay, but I want to enable replication. I don't want to enable replication on all the objects. That means let's say so, as one person have uploaded site.txt, another person have uploaded raven.txt, another person have uploaded xyz.txt. When all the objects will be replicated automatically to Singapore bucket, if I go with this rule applicable to all objects in the bucket. So if I choose this rule, so automatically this all will be copied to my destination bucket. But if you want only particular objects to be copied, to be replicated to a destination bucket, not all the objects. So how can you filter those type of objects? Only these objects I want to get to copy. For that you need to apply a filter. So what I will do, I will give a filter here saying that whatever the object starts with, whatever the object name starts with, let's say one, okay, one dot. Let's see. So what I will do, I will rename the object whatever. So whenever the objects I want to get automatically replicated, I will rename them. So now say which object will get copied with this condition given. One dot. Only whatever the object name starts with one dot, only those objects will be copied to the destination bucket. So that is what you mean by rule scope. Rule scope means using this. Okay, you are creating a rule, but what is the rule? Whether you want to copy, I mean, replicate all the objects automatically, or you want only some objects to be replicated automatically. If you want some objects, okay, how can you filter? By applying this filter, whether with the help of tags or the prefix, anything is fine, or combination of both also. But usually, definitely we apply in all objects. So that's why you see, the moment you select all the objects rows, there is no this prefix, all this tag. Why? Because there is no filter in the scenario. See? It's gone automatically. Well, that means no matter what is the name of the object, every object, whatever gets copied into your mobile bucket, gets automatically copied to the single. That is what you mean by it's rule applicable to all objects in the bucket. Next. So if
Even if one question, even if the object is private, can we does it get copied?
yeah,
Then
you see the public and permission is for whom? For the public, the other people who want to see it. But
okay,
for getting copied, there is no restriction with public and private, right? Public and private is what? Just for viewing the object, not for copying the object. Next,
okay,
you need to give the information about destination. Let's say here we are having only one or two, three buckets while practicing, but when you go inside the company, maybe there will be 50, 60 S3 buckets. So how can you choose? What is your destination bucket? So choose a bucket in this account, whether the bucket is in your account or in any other person's account. So here one more option we learned is replication is not only between in the same account. You can enable replication between two different AWS accounts also. So this is my account. My account ID is 485 something. So let's say we want to enable replication between your AWS account S3 bucket and my AWS S3 bucket. So what I need to do is specify bucket in another account means I will ask your account ID, 12 digit ID. So if you give that and then I will give my bucket name, then automatically from your account also you can we can enable replication between our two accounts S3 bucket. So let's leave it. Let's say since our both buckets are the same region, we just browse it. What is our destination bucket name? Everyone, destination test application. Okay, that's it. It's fine. And you see, what is the second role we said? Again, some red color thing. Now it is talking about
Destination.
have we discussed or not this point in the theory?
Yes.
You
Yes.
need to enable working on both source as well as destination bucket. So if you don't enable, you can't create this. So only if you create enable, then only this red mark will. So what they saying, the object has now working enable. No, that's it. Next comes something called IAM role. Okay, you see, that's why I said next after this service we are going to discuss a service called IAM. In IAM we are going to discuss so many options: users, group, policies, role, CLI, so many things. So out of them, role is one of the options which we are going to discuss. Okay. So for now, since we did not discuss IAM, I am saying on a high level what is the meaning of role. Okay, role means nothing but giving permission between two services. Okay, that services can be anything else. That the services can be between EC to S3, that can be between S3 to S3, that can be between mission and your database, that can be between your bucket to database, in anything. Okay, so you are giving permission between two services. How you are giving service? How you can access S3 from EC2 service? EC2 is a different service, S3 is a different service. So definitely your EC2 instance needs a permission that you can from EC2 mission you can go and access S3 bucket. So who will give this permission with the help of? You need to create IAM role and you need to attach this role to the EC2. Then only from that EC2, once you SSH, we know how to go inside Linux mission. After going inside Linux mission, from Linux mission, you can go through with the help of CLI command. This also we are going to discuss in IAM. With the help of CLI command, we go to into S3 bucket. From there, you can upload or you can download into your EC2 machine. But for this, you need to create a role. Role is nothing but kind of permission, and you need to attach that permission to your EC2. Okay. Now here you need to give permission between which two things?
S3 to S3.
Right. Good. So here we need to give permission between two S3 buckets. Even though S3 are same service, but definitely this is another bucket, this is another bucket. So you need to give permission for one bucket to another bucket. So that means then only this bucket will accept for getting copied. So what did I say? I am copying something into this bucket and automatically it will get copied to here. So definitely you need to take the permission of the second bucket that it is allowing some things to get copied automatically. And how we are giving that permission with the help of IAM role. So in this class, I am not showing you how to create role. Actually, here AWS only will give one predefined option how to create a role. You simply select it. It will only create role automatically in the backend. But in the next class, I will show you practically manually how we have to create a custom role. Because being a cloud engineer, it's the nature of your job. You need to create a role as per the requirement. That I how to create role I will say in the next coming classes. But here I am just explaining you what is the use case of role and why we are attaching role here. Why role is necessary here. So here you don't need to create role here. You can simply select from the drop down. Create new role. You just select create new role. You don't need to create here. So who is creating for you in the backend the moment you select this? AWS create role between your Mumbai S3 bucket and the Singapore S3 bucket. In fact, after creating this, I will show you the name of that role also, which AWS created for us. It's okay. We don't want to do anything about encryption, leave it. If you want to change the storage class, so let's say in my source bucket, so this is your Mumbai bucket, this is your Singapore bucket. So while I'm uploading the object, let's say the storage type is standard. If you want the storage type to be same as this, you don't need to use this option. But if you want, let's say, if you want to change it something like one zone IA, after getting copied to the destination bucket, then you can use it. Change the storage class of the which object, not copying object, which got copied. That means destination bucket. That means the object which got copied. Do you want the object to be same storage as like of the storage, I mean source bucket, or do you want to change the type of storage after getting copied? So if you want, you can change here below. You see, there are options. You know, standard, intelligent, standard awareness. It's okay, let's leave it. We don't want to finish it, so don't mark this option. Automatically this will do. And these are some additional options, not compulsory, additional. If you want to do something with the replicated object, and then save. So now we have created successfully this replication role. So what is the name of the role, guys? IAM role. You did not create. AWS created for you. What is the name of it? S3 CRR. What is CRR? Cross region replication. Okay, CRR means cross region replication. So AWS only created for your IAM role called S3 IAM. So with this IAM role, what is permission you have given between your Mumbai bucket and the Singapore bucket for copying the key? That's it, guys. You can see here. Come down below, everything you can see here. Okay, this is the name of your role. Whether the state is enabled is there. What is your destination bucket? So what is your destination region? What is the scope? Whether only one object or entire bucket? Okay, entire bucket. What is the storage class after getting copied? Same as source. Who is the owner of the replica? Same as the source. All these things. These are additional options which we did not do. Now we need to check it whether this replication is working or fine or not. How can we check the guys? How can we check it now?
When object profile
Right. So
is
what we'll
being
do? So let's go to source. No objects are there. Fine. Let's go to destination. No objects are there. Fine. So what we'll do? Let's upload any object in the source node. Upload. And fine. If you want, you can keep it public. If you want, you can keep it private. Nothing, no issues. Why? Because this is just about copying. This is not about accessing. So let's make it public if you want. So I have uploaded my object only to the Mumbai bucket, my source bucket. I did not do anything on the destination bucket. So now let's see whether this is replicated in the destination bucket or not. Automatically, it should be automatic process. Where is the destination? Don't expect automatic. Once you come here, just do this refresh. Okay, this refresh button is there. It got copied or not automatically. The storage class is same. I have uploaded there as standard. Here also it is standard. This is the first point. This is proven. The first point is how many points are proven till now? The first point is proven. Fourth point is proven. I mean, of course, this third point is proven. Copying. What is the next thing we need to do practical? Whether vice versa is possible or not. Whether the deleting is not working or not. Okay. So let's try this one. Vice versa. So vice versa means I need to upload in which bucket now?
Destination.
Destination bucket. So let me upload any object in destination bucket. Okay. You can maybe upload any other object. Let's say some text file I'm uploading. If you want, you can make it public or leave it private as you finish it. So now I have uploaded in destination bucket, guys. Now I have uploaded in Singapore, not in Mumbai. You see? I have uploaded in this bucket now. And what did we discuss? Will replication work vice versa? No. So let's go and cross it in a source bucket, which is my main bucket. Refresh it. See? Will it replicate it?
No.
So the second point is also proven. So what is the last thing we need to get through?
Deleting it.
Delete it. So what will do? Let's so now I am in source bucket. So let's try to delete our that image which we have given in source bucket. Delete it. We have deleted in the Mumbai bucket. This is the source bucket which you have deleted. So in your source bucket, currently we have zero. So let's go to destination Singapore bucket. Okay. Is anything now deleted? Same as is everything. So the deleting is also proven.
So can we go to source bucket and check the versioning as well?
Yeah, working is enabled definitely. You have enabled working, right? So you know that working. If you want, you can see it. This is different. Don't read it from here. Hmm. Yeah. It doesn't have a working is different basically. So only copying, no delete. So this is how to deal with this. So these are all usually different options at bucket level, object level. What are the practicals we have done? Whatever the practicals we have discussed, you see, only those are the complex options. Remaining all are very just click enable it. Nothing much you have to do this. What will I explain is this? Will explain is just enable. You also know that enable. But after enabling, if there are some more additional options, those things we have discussed. So you see guys, yesterday we have already discussed I think almost 4 or 5 classes. Just imagine how much big service it is. But in real time once you join the company, the only purpose you use SQL is only for storage. Okay. You don't literally use static website hosting. You don't use the transfer acceleration. You don't use this maybe you might use replication. That also just to save the not replication this one. Lifecycle management. Why we have to enable lifecycle management? Anyone? Any guesses? What will happen if you enable lifecycle management?
Tracking purpose or
Not tracking purpose.
Storage,
Cost. Save the
Cost
cost.
optimization.
Okay. We already discussed. Whenever you hear the word lifecycle management, remember the data loses its importance as time goes on. So what happens? You don't want to pay that much money. If something is not important for you, why will you pay money for that? And at the same time, you can't keep a track of that manually. It should be automated. And how can you automate the things? That means you want a process, an automation process, such a way whatever the things are not important for you should not attract more charges. So automatically you'll apply life cycle management on top of that thing so that everything will be automated moving further. You don't have to keep a track manually. So that's it. This is all about SE. So that's why I don't think all the options you will be using in real time. We have discussed let's say 10 options. Maybe hardly in real time, maybe one or two options depending upon your project requirement. Rest of the all, no one will use all the options in the same bucket. Again, it will be conflicting. Only some options you will use depending upon your project requirement. But being a cloud engineer, you need to know all the options because you don't know when which requirement will come for you. Yeah, that's it. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
don't we have an option to rename a bucket or object?
Reminder.
Rename bucket name or an object name.
Bucket name you can't rename it. Once you have created object name, yes, you can rename it. You know, no? Where is it? Go to description. Click on this object action. Rename object. You can
Okay,
rename.
so for bucket we don't have an option.
Yeah, for bucket you can. That's why is it the name of bucket also globally unique. Only the one time you'll give the option. Again, you can't rename it. But there is no such thing for global unit. Object name should not be any global unit, but bucket name should be global unit.
So can we upload a folder also as an object?
Can you upload?
A folder from our local machine to
Yeah,
this.
folder also. You see, option is there, right?
But
Create a folder.
instead of
You can
okay,
create, you can upload also. Both will be. Or else simply you can do one thing. You just create a folder here. Something like you create a folder here. And what you will do? Go inside this folder. Go into this folder.
then we can upload.
Then you can upload it. Straight away, whatever you want to upload. All the files in your from your local system. You just control all and you can upload like.
Okay, so in this case, after creating a folder, let's consider I want to upload only files which starts with A. So what should I have to do? Should I have to create an
No, but
JSON?
when you are uploading for the first time in the source bucket, that is manual thing. Those the what you have given replication that rule which starts with this is that is between the replication between the two buckets, not
And
while you
not
are
for
uploading to the source bucket.
replication, just to normal upload.
Yeah. So
So this,
while uploading only, you have to make sure that the particular object name starts with that filter, whatever you have given.
so what I have to do, for example, if the requirement is I should not allow users to upload all objects. I have to allow only the particular object.
No, no, you're talking about permission between a user and S3. But here we have discussed the permission between two S3 buckets, not between a user and S3 bucket.
I understand replication, but if the requirement is like this, so
That
in
is
this,
that we are going to discuss in the next concept because we never discussed any permission related to user. Here we have discussed only permission and options related to only S3 bucket. In coming IAM service, we are going to discuss the permissions related to specific person. Which person
but
can
you
access
showed
which
that
bucket?
JSON rule, right? Showed one JSON rule where we define this kind of conditions. So
Right.
is it related to ACL?
Yeah, that is S3 as well as I said. That's why you can give a permission either from S3 bucket also. The same thing you can give from IAM permission also. But in
But as of
S3
now, I
you
can
need
go and create
right.
JSON.
But for this you need to have scripting language knowledge. So what I said instead of to avoid this complex scripting means you can do the same thing from IAM also, where you have GI options, where you don't need to write any script there.
Okay. So right now in S3, the option available is ACL.
Which one?
In S3, whatever that we discussed so far, if I have to provide any permission, so I have to go to ACL and then provide a
Right,
JSON.
right. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Hi, Raman.
Yeah.
So, is there any way we can sync both source and destination? Or
I mean, those are missing.
is there any way we can sync a source and destination?
Yeah, we have synced right already. It's synced right.
So, I'm saying that in day by day, I'm going to delete some objects from source, and
Right. Right.
the source and destination will not be in the sync. So, is there any way we can sync later? So, that's it.
So with which option you that means definitely the copying will be in sync. Whatever you're copying in source, it will be synced to destination automatically because you have enabled replication.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So what is the another type of sync you're talking about?
So, okay. So, only deletion will not happen. So,
Only
both
deletion will
objects.
not happen. So you know other option related to deleting. What can you apply deleting means?
So, I have to go to the destination and I have to manually delete. Right.
That is one way. That is one way. What
Right.
is other thing? What is other option you can use? We have discussed so many options at bucket level.
Mm,
Because you can't keep every day. You can't go and delete it.
right. That's right.
So what will it should be automated. So maybe let's after 10 days or 20 days you want to delete it or automatically. You can't keep it track every day. You can't go to destination bucket and keep on deleting 100 objects. You see, this is the point where it comes from. I will explain you all the options, but you need to think logically as per the scenario. You know every option. You know how to do theoretically. You know how to explain theoretical manual. But in which scenario you need to use which option? That should be something you should logically. So then you'll apply life cycle management, right? So what is the
Right.
purpose of life cycle management? So what you
Right.
say after object creation 30 days straight away you want to delete it. You don't change this one types of storage this. Right away you'll define one life cycle management rule. Immediately after object got created, delete it after 30 days.
Right. Right.
Even this replication rule will be applicable only for manual upload.
No, application is a thing. Whatever you get, if you have something processed automatically, you're getting automatically to your bucket every day. All the objects will be copied automatically to the destination bucket. It's not only manual. Whatever the object comes into the source will go into destination. Whether it's a manually it comes or automatically that doesn't matter.
But in your case, if you have the same rule and destination bucket also, does it work?
Same,
We have defined a rule in source bucket, right? This replication rule.
not rule. Yeah.
Rule, rule, not rule. Yeah. So if the same condition is there in the destination bucket, what happens?
Then it is the vice versa. So if you upload anything in destination, it
But
gets
it's
copied
an
to source also.
unconditional, right? It's keep on copying the files from source to destination and
That
destination to.
then you should not give that condition.
Okay, but it supports.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, guys. Have a nice day. We'll meet in the market.
Thank you, Ravan. Bye bye.
Bye.